No sign, Your Honor.
One second. Hey there, where the hell you at? It's Chief of PD. Where the hell you guys want me at? Actually, I have to ask the judge that. Hang on. Hey, Judge. Judge.
Yes, sir.
Hey, as Chief of PD, where would you like me at?
You can stand next to your sergeant on the other side of the bench.
Hey, you got
Hey,
OT
Josh.
over there in the white. You got OT PDs in the...
Someone call me?
Me.
Approach.
Do you want someone else to be bailiff, or did we still loading in?
I'll use the local PD for now.
Alright. Because I don't want to keep sitting here because
No, that's fine. I'm waiting for the defendant to come back, and it doesn't look like he has he doesn't have a defense attorney either.
he had a log.
Okay, and I'm looking at the report here. Do we have the arresting officer, Rico Martinez?
Rico Martinez? No, he's not on yet.
I thought it'd be prudent if he was here. He's the one who wrote up the report here, so.
Alright.
So what is this case for? Is this for the accident or is this for a different case?
Let me, I got docket ending 15768-74, the people of the state of San Andreas versus Tim Moran. Charges reckless endangerment by law enforcement in the first degree.
Well, either Rick can do it, or Leader can do it, or Shark can do it if he wants.
What's up?
Okay, Bigby had to clear his cache, and he would do it.
That's fine. I got one on each side just in case something happens. At least then I got one on one side, one on the other.
I'll be sitting over here.
Okay.
And you have Rick over there, and you have us three over here.
Well, let's start with Mr. Moran. Approach the bench, sir. Step right up to that podium over there in the center. So in the looks of it here, from what I'm looking at, and you can tell me if this is right or wrong.
Hey, no.
No, Tom, over there in the middle.
Right there in the middle.
Right there.
These are witness stands. All right.
Make sure you're on shelf, Tom.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You're Mr.
Yep. Moran.
Forgive me if I'm saying this wrong. Moron?
No, Moran.
Moron? Okay. So it looks like the complaint is he put you in. You were arrested for using the stand your ground law and witnessed somebody brandishing, or no, the arresting officer witnessed you brandishing a firearm in your hand. You were being charged with weapon discharge violation 02 SA10, third degree assault on a protected person. Is this correct?
That's the wrong case.
Well, here's our big problem. Whoever basically filed for your arrest for whatever it is you were arrested for didn't put the case and didn't write a report for it. So you want to explain to me the facts of the case? So what happened that night? Can you tell the court what happened that night, please?
Yes. So the wind was very high. Driving my motorcycle down the road in Roxford. And I had had an injury. I was dizzy and all that. So this police officer, don't know if it was LSPD or what they call it out there, but they came to the scene, saw that I was injured. They didn't call for EMS. They said, "Get in the car. I'll take you to the hospital." So I get in the car with them, and we drive down the road. We hit a pole, and my back is removed in 2 places. Got surgery after court today for it.
Okay, so let me see if I got this understood. Is that you were riding your bike down in Roxwood? You got dizzy, you said?
No, it was windy out. I hit a rock because the bike
Okay, so you
was
had some.
blown.
Okay, it was windy out. And you hit a rock and you fell off the bike.
Yeah, I went flying.
So where? So what I'm not understanding is what if you had, from the looks of it, looked like you had a motor vehicle accident and you were stopped for that. First, the officers responded to the accident and
But that was I didn't get arrested. That's
all right. So you can't identify if it was the LSPD or the San Andreas State Police. Is that correct? You recognize, the uniform, the
it was
emblem on the side of the
police.
vehicle.
Yeah, it was police. It wasn't state. It said police on it.
Okay. And you sustained injuries from this this crash.
Yeah. When the
Okay.
police car crashed into the pole.
Do we have the superior officer for the LSPD in here?
Yeah, standing right here.
What's your name, sir?
Nick Mendoza, LSPD Chief, badge number 301.
Okay, Mr. Mendoza. So from the looks of like what this defendant is saying is that one of your officers was driving reckless and resulted in his injuries. Can you have any feedback? Were you a responding officer that day, or?
I was on call, but I did not respond to that scene. I found out later on from a trooper about the incident. From what I heard from the officer's statement, I'm not sure if the officer's here or on right now or around to state his side of it, but based on what I heard, he was driving and a vehicle cut in front of him. He swerved out of the way to hit that vehicle. He hit a tree and he also from the vehicle.
Did the officer lose control of his vehicle?
No, some person pulled out in front of him, like someone swerved into his lane, and he turned to avoid it. When he turned to avoid it, he hit a tree, trying to avoid the vehicle that pulled out in front of him.
Okay.
Or swerved into his lane.
And this all happened up in Roxwood County?
Yeah, there should be a report on it. I'm not sure what case you're looking at, because I think...
I'm looking at one that says ID 3 by Rico Martinez, but it's just a discharge of a firearm violation.
Okay, so there's multiple cases. I think the case that this man here is talking about is a completely different case.
This is like a civil.
Yeah, so we got there's some issues with the cases.
That's totally fine, sir. I was making sure I'm getting all the correct information here because it looks like
Mr. What is your name? What's your last name, sir?
Moran, I think.
Tim.
Tim? Alright, Tim, the case right now is involving the shots fired outside of the out at the Lost Conference.
No, sir. No, this is the civil case. There's just no notes. That's why I asked him to step up and explain what's going on.
There's multiple cases going on at once. There's multiple cases going on. There's a case about a lawsuit involving a crash at the PD, which is the case that Mr. Tim here was talking about. And there's another case that was just filed where it was shots fired outside of the Lost Compound. The case you're referring to is a shots fired call outside of the compound, but the case that Mr. Tim here is telling you is the traffic accident involving the LSPD officer. So
Okay.
you guys are on two completely different pages in terms of like cases.
Correct. I'm looking for
Um,
this one where he's having this accident because that report was never
Yeah.
written or submitted. That's the problem that I'm having here.
Yeah.
So, what I have to go off at this point in facts is based off of what Mr. Moran is telling me. I'm also trying to understand if this happened in Roxwood County, what was the LSPD doing out of their jurisdiction?
It wasn't PD. It was Roxford County. It was Marina Beach Police that was there.
Okay. So, sir, Mr. Moran, can you describe what the vehicle said on the side of the vehicle? Because if I understand correctly, you said Marina Beach. Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's what it
They,
said on there.
they have their own identification markers on their vehicle. So if they're respondent there, then I'm not sure who runs that department per se. Do we have the lead of that department in this courtroom, or is that you as well, Mr. Mendoza?
It's me as well. Well,
Okay.
yeah.
Who is the officer driving the vehicle?
That'd be Officer Rico, but I don't think he's currently available at this time.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Austin Rico.
So the
It
question
was,
I
it
would
was my understanding. I believe this case was supposed to happen at a later date. This case involving the vehicle, I think, was supposed to happen like a Tuesday. Unless it
Okay.
got pushed up. This is all knowledge to me, so I'm not exactly sure what's. We got multiple cases going on, and I'm not sure what case we're. Because I think we're still doing an investigation on that crash case. I think IA is still investigating that case. So I'm not exactly sure how that's playing out exactly.
Okay.
But the trooper's even here.
Oh yeah, I mean,
That-
the trooper's over there. Yeah, he's right there.
Yeah.
He was on both. He was on the shots fired call scene, and he was also on the crash scene too. So.
Oh, can I have all the gentlemen in the courtroom who basically are wearing hats to remove your hats, please? Thank you. Mr. Bradford?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Uh, Mr. Shepard, could you step to the bench, please?
You want me to move?
No, he's gonna approach the bench. Please state your name and badge number, please, for the record.
Elijah J. Shepard, badge number 502.
Thank you. Were you on call that night of this incident that occurred when the law enforcement officer from the Marina Beach Police Department smashed into the street?
I was, Your Honor.
Did you witness the crash and how it went down?
No, Your Honor, I arrived. I was one of the secondary responders. Well, first on scene with another officer. Upon arrival, I arrived to the scene of an officer laid out on the ground, and then a restless victim in the back of the behind the cruiser, waving for help.
Okay, this was after the crash,
Yes, Your Honor. That's when we arrived to the scene.
and the defendant was you said restless in the back.
Yes, Your Honor. He was frantic and greeted unwelcomely in a sense, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. You can step back. Okay, Mr. Moran. So, in order for me to get all the facts of the case, I don't have all the information at this time. Mr. Mendoza, can you get a hold of your fellow officer and make sure that I'm gonna basically grant a continuance in this case until we can get some case notes and a report that's properly written, because I can't do anything without that in front of me.
I think there is a report on that. I believe we got like both sides of that incident. I'm not sure
Maybe
if
I'm
it's
looking
been
at-
submitted yet. Because like I said,
I'm not seeing anything in the report section except one from a.
Your Honor, may I approach again?
Huh?
Your Honor, we're getting a call from back here.
The attorney right there. Approach the bench, sir. The attorney right there in the suit. I don't know his name. He just walked in.
The trooper is wanting to approach. It was the trooper.
Oh, approach. Can you do me a favor and submit it for me so I can take a look at it? Thank you.
Trooper. Actually, not gonna step away for a second and talk to the trooper.
Yeah, you can step in my chambers if need be.
Okay. Gotcha. That's right.
Mr. Justice, is it? Approach the bench, sir. Bentley Justice, you're his attorney at defense, yes?
Can you repeat that, sir?
Are you his attorney, Mr. Moran's attorney?
Yes, sir.
What are we seeking here today? Like, what are we trying to get? What's the resolve?
So what exactly happened? That Marina Beach LSPD officer was transporting him in his patrol car to the hospital. And what had happened is they crashed into a pole.
I
And what the
understand that.
officers,
I understand. So, what, are you trying to get your defense that your client's looking for a settlement? Is that it?
yeah, he's
20.
looking for a settlement of 20,000. Was it 20,000?
Yeah, 20,000 for my surgery.
Yeah, he said 20,000, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. You can step back. So, judging off the notes that I'm getting here, is that what is Mr. Martinez's rank? Is he just a standard officer? Is he sergeant, lieutenant? What is he?
I think he is a corporal.
I'll make sure he's addressed properly here. Ten-minute recess.
Okay.
Hey Tim, can I talk to you for a minute?
Yes, ma'am.
I need to speak to you as well.
Oh my god, it's Tim's taking.
I'll be right back. Where's the sheriff? I need the sheriff. Hello?
I'm not
Can
the
you guys-
sheriff. What's up?
I thought the shooting case was down.
These charges are these are ready to be removed.
Okay.
I have to let Josh know about it.
Okay.
My deputy here, you're appointed.
If you
Yeah.
get dropped.
Yep.
If you get dropped.
What's in the MVP right now? No, don't worry about it. I will.
That's what I thought. Do we still have to talk in court?
Probably.
That's what I'm double checking to see if we still have
Hey,
to be here
Chief.
for court.
That's not chief.
Not Chief PD, but where is Chief PD at?
He's with the judge in his chambers right now, I believe. I'm a sergeant.
Hopefully we can get your case settled. This is kind of ridiculous with all of this.
Hey, Sheriff.
What up?
Oh, where's Brandon at?
Out in the
Is he
hall.
outside?
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, where's my defendant?
He's out in the
You can
hall.
go grab him, Your Honor.
Is that a detective? Alright. Based off of the information that I have here, it looks like that Mr. Martinez was given action noting him that he could be sued for what happened that day. From what I'm seeing here, doesn't really say how he wound up hitting the tree other than, oh yeah, there we go, a motor vehicle. I see a couple problems with this. Number one, the officer wasn't in question was not wearing a seatbelt, which could have caused a lot more damage to himself and his passenger. Two, his body cam wasn't on, because I don't see that in the details of the report either. So what I'm gonna do at this point in time, based off of what's in front of me, is pending an investigation, the investigation conclusion, I'm going to basically break this case into two parts because I want to understand Mr. Martinez's end of it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to issue a rule to show cause order for Mr. Martinez's appearance. That court date's going to be set for, what's today, 20th?
Yes, Your Honor.
I want to go for 28th February, 8 p.m.
Your
Central
Honor,
Time.
are you aware of Mr. Martinez's leave of absence for a period of time?
No, approach. I need to get an understanding of all this stuff.
Aye.
Understood. Take a step back. Alright. So, as of now, we're going to put this docket on hold until Mr. Rico can return and deal with it. Because I can't go off of half-based information, ruling the defendant and not listen to what was going on and have a half investigation. That's just unjustified. But what I am going to do now is we are going to listen to the other court case that we have here because I do want to address this weapons discharge violation here with Mr. Moran. So Mr. Moran, can you approach please again? And the court would like to call Mr. Nick Mendoza to the stand first as a cooperating witness. Please raise your right hand, sir. You swear that the statement you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You may be seated. So can you, Mr. Mendoza, can you tell the court what occurred on that day that this charge occurred?
Was fun.
did this take place on their, what does that say on his shirt? My eyes aren't what they used to be. Is that Lost MC? It take place on their little compound place. Okay. What I'm understanding based off of the Google images I have of the building, there's a gated community, correct? They when you responded to the call, was the gate open or was it shut?
It was closed. We opened to
Wait
talk.
your turn, Mr. Moran. Okay, let me okay, so that he's unsure. Okay. And you gave him commands to drop his weapon? At any time did he raise his weapon to you or your officers? Okay. Thank you so much, sir. You can step down. Court now calls Mr. Tim Moran to the stand. Please raise your right hand, sir. You swear that the statement you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
On the day in question, when you were asked by that officer Mendoza to lower your weapon, did you fail to comply? Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes.
How many times did he order you to drop your weapon?
6.
6 commands. Okay. Your gate at the Lost MC compound, is it a locked gate or an open one?
Locked.
Did they attempt to enter the premises without permission of yourself or the owner of the building?
Yes.
Did they, well, how did they attempt to enter the premises without probable cause?
They said there was shots fired, so that was their.
Let me rephrase the question, Mr. Moreau. Did they physically enter the premises without your permission? Did they actually enter the gate?
I had an. Yes. They went in without me and the old lady permission.
Old lady. I don't have anything in the notes about a old lady in the report here. There was an elderly person here.
She's right over there. Behind
She doesn't look very elderly to me, sir. My eyesight's terrible.
That's a
So let me get this straight. They entered the premises without permission, but the gate is locked and shut. What, did they magically appear through the gate, or did they ram their vehicle through the gate?
We opened it so we could talk.
So by opening the gate, you pretty much gave them access to enter the premises. That is pretty much consent.
No, it's not, because they can't get on our property without a warrant.
They cannot search your property without a warrant. They could enter a open area, which is a driveway. If they don't enter the building physically to search or seizure or even remotely enter your...
They searched all our buildings.
They conducted a search based off of a shots fired call?
Yes.
Did they find shell casings at the scene?
I don't think so. I wasn't told that.
What was the purpose of the discharge of the firearm?
We were doing shooting practice.
You guys ever hear of a shooting range that's legally sanctioned for that kind of stuff?
We have created targets there.
You do understand that if a bullet were to ricochet off of anything inside of your premises and ricochet, hit a child, hit a person on the sidewalk, that is considered a unjustifiable homicide.
We weren't shooting towards the...
Yeah, okay, the word ricochet, sir, means if it bounces off of something on your property, flies over your fence, and hits a pedestrian, that is what we call unjustifiable homicide, or if B, manslaughter. So therefore, their responding to a shots fired is a justifiable reason to enter your premises. Regardless whether or not the gate was shut, you opened it, you granted them permission to enter. You're just basically asking for that at that point. Now, I'm not understanding where you say you have targets set up inside of your building, whatever that may be. But again, if something were to ricochet off of a pipe, a glass bottle, a shelf, hell, a statue, and hits an officer or even a pedestrian, as I said before, you would have had a lot bigger problem than what you're facing right now. Because right now, what you're facing is a misdemeanor offense, which holds up to a $1,500 fine, a temporary suspension of your firearms license, up to 30 days. But now, you're here to contest it, obviously. So I'm trying to understand what is your defense to your actions here. You weren't defending yourself. You weren't defending the property. You were just recklessly firing off rounds inside of a open area.
We're allowed to have targets. We have targets in there.
Are they in an enclosed area? Are
yes.
they in they're in a public area? Yes.
They're
where
in a
people
private. No, they're in the private area.
That have a roof where it can protect bullets from flying and ricocheting everywhere and hitting people. It's one thing if you hit one of your own guys, that's your own fault. But if you hit an innocent person on the side,
yes, it's in a building. But I'm not answering any further questions.
Mr. Justice, is that what you're advising your client to do? I think his right to remain silent was probably already read when he was arrested for said.
Yes, sir. So if he's shooting off his firearm inside the clubhouse, well, he shouldn't be doing that.
You can step down, sir. Court will now have Mr. Elijah Shepard to the stand. Please raise your right hand, sir. The statement you're about to give, do you swear that it's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Can you concur Can you concur with Mr. Mendoza's statement that he gave about what happened that day at the Lost Compound?
Yes, but I have some more enlightenment details on the statement, Your Honor.
Proceed.
I was first to arrive. Upon arrival, the gate was shut. We had two suspects standing in front of a table. We attempted to make communication through the gate. No response for about 2 minutes, Your Honor. In that time, we noticed one of the suspects had a weapon pointed at the ground at the moment, but it was out. The first suspect to make contact with us was Bella Jackson. We advised her to please have the person in the back with the weapon put his weapon up, and we tried to make attempts to, but she said she could tell him, but it's his free will to do it. So when we did, we went back and forth for about 3-5 minutes, and then we finally settled on just trying to match our level of force with them by pulling out rifle and less than lethal and a pistol. Bella Jackson did let me know that if she gave the order, he would shoot me. When she did give the order, and then we kept talking. We decided on making a tactical advance because we had probable cause of the shots fired coming from this area. The shots fired called for a female subject who was firing shots, and we arrived. That's what we were greeted with was the female, and then the male suspect with the weapon. I made a tactical. Your Honor.
I'm sorry. So they both fired a weapon?
Just one. From the reports we got from the 911 call, it was a female who shot the fire off, matching Miss Bella Jackson's description from what I remember, Your Honor.
Okay, so both of the people in this courtroom are pretty much on this case, pretty much.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask that Miss Jackson sits or stands right next to Mr. Moran, because at this point this is a dual case. Because they're involved. She was the one that fired the firearm, or was it Mr. Moran?
From the reports, Your Honor, it was the female. That was what the 911 call stated. Female, shots fired, Your Honor. Matching Miss Bella's description.
Did any of your officers collect any shell cases or evidence at the scene?
When we conducted our search, Your Honor, we couldn't find any shell casings of it. But at that point, we decided to make our arrest based off of the description, Your Honor, matching her and the weapons we pulled from her. I didn't personally collect evidence, so I didn't know if they checked the weapon itself. But we did go ahead and make our arrest based off of the shell, or not the shell casing, the brandishing of the firearms, the threat against a protected person, and I can't remember the other one we put in there for, Your Honor. Yeah, discharging the firearm within the city limits, and because they were claiming they had a range, Your Honor, we settled on that one because it wasn't a licensed range or a prohibited range. Due to the sheet metal being around the area, we conducted our investigation that it still would have gone through, Your Honor.
You guys can hear me all right in here? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So the question I beckon is, and here's the big one, I think this is going to be the icing on the cake. Either of these two individuals, were they checked to see whether or not they had a weapons owner's identification?
They had a weapons license, but not one for a range, Your Honor.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. You can step down. Miss Jackson, step up to the witness stand, please. Approach.
After a little bit, we did a search of the premises, not necessarily for items or whatever. We did a search just to make sure that there's nobody else in the area, nobody else that could pose a threat. After doing a search, we found that there was no weapon range inside of the building. So there was, Mr. Tim here saying that there was a range indoors or enclosed. Upon our search, we did not find any type of enclosed range upon searching the inside of the building and the premises.
Okay. Be noted at the court. Thank you, sir. Hey, Miss Jackson, please raise your right hand. You understand that the statement that you are giving today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Have a seat. From what we're understanding today, ma'am, did you or did you not unlawfully fire a firearm at your, I don't know if you guys call it a compound or building, whatever it may be. Was there a firearm discharge that day? And the specific reason that was given by Mr. Moran was target practice? Can you identify what these targets were? Were they like actual paper targets, glass bottles, stuffed animals, balloons? What were they? And where were they placed? Okay, so the question then beckons at that point. You have a compound in the middle of Vinewood Hills. You have a casino off to the left, dirt hill to the right, correct? If I'm mapping that out properly. Straight ahead towards the right or the left? Okay. So, what I'm trying to understand is, because I tried to get Mr. Moran to understand, is that you guys have an open compound. There's not like a huge dome or a roof that goes over the top. Were you guys inside of a? You guys were outside, correct? So what I'm trying to get the understanding is, there could have been civilians that could have been seriously hurt if something were to quote unquote ricochet. You guys have a lot of property that it could have bounced off of. It could have hit one of the bricks, could have hit you by accident, could have hit Mr. Moran, could have hit your president, it could have hit anybody. It could have hit a dog across the street. Any that could have resulted in a much bigger issue. Do you understand? Do you understand that unlawful discharge of a firearm can carry out what we call a reckless endangerment, which is a criminal charge that can carry out as a misdemeanor or a felony, depending on the circumstance, and is punishable by law. Okay. So, tell me a little bit more about why, what is going on outside? Anyways, you guys were given, was it 6 directives to drop the weapon at the gate? So grounds, okay, so I can understand the protection aspect, man, but these are men and women in uniform. The only people you should have to protect yourself from are people who you've obviously gotten yourselves into a mess with, nonetheless. Is that correct? If they're there responding to either the safety of one of you or your fellow brethren or sisters that could have been seriously hurt, and by not complying with them could have resulted in a much bigger issue. Like, you know, if he didn't drop his weapon and there was a jumpy officer, he could have been shot dead. You understand that? So, the reckless endangerment statute carries what we call a class 4 felony. This offense will and can be punished by law for up to 1 to 3 years in prison and carry out a fine as heavy as $25,000. That understood. You may step down. Mr. Justice, approach the bench, please. Mr. Bentley. Bentley Justice to the stand, please. Not the stand, over here, right in front of me, sir. There you go. How do your defendants plead? Guilty or not guilty? That should have been actually told by the beginning of this one. Are they pleading guilty or not guilty to this charge? Right now, the charge that I'm giving them is reckless endangerment in the first degree.
I have 2 other witnesses to this.
Good God.
Who are other witnesses? Are we waiting on Mr. Well, one of them
Sheriff
is
Bank
on...
is one of the. Sheriff Bank is one of the. William Banks is the sheriff, and he would like to speak to you.
Okay, we have Mr. Banks, and then we have Mr. Lopez Jr. Mr. Martinez is on leave, from what I understand.
Yeah, he's coming in right now, sir. He's a little late.